Yeah, have you ever been doom scrolling online and then you suddenly see a Shark Tank investor talking about debt relief? Maybe it's Robert Herjavec or Daymond John showing up in the ads saying that they've got a solution to your debt problem. Now, it most likely catches your attention because, if a shark from Shark Tank is promoting it, it must be legitimate, right? Well, today I'm actually going to be breaking down what these ads are really promoting, along with some alternatives that you may want to know about before you're making any sort of decision about your debt. I'm going to even share a free tool that we have created that helps you compare all of your debt options side by side. That way you're able to make the most informed decision, understand the costs, pros and cons, duration, you name it, all for free. And that way you can understand which options may make the most sense for you. And obviously this video is just for informational purposes and shouldn't be kind of construed as any kind of legal or financial advice. Okay, so let's talk about what we're seeing from these sharks. Now, when I was researching one of these ads, both Kevin Harrington and Barbara Corcoran had partnered with companies promoting debt relief programs in the past. Now, back in 2016, Barbara was actually endorsing Freedom Debt Relief. But did you know that in 2019, Freedom Debt Relief was also sued by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau for $25 million, citing violations regarding charging consumers without settling their debts as promised, charging consumers after having them negotiate their own settlements with creditors, and misleading consumers about the company's fees and ability to negotiate directly with all of the consumer's creditors. Now, all I can really say to that is yikes. Now, Kevin Harrington, on the other hand, had endorsed accredited debt relief in 2017, calling their debt consolidation program one of the smartest ways to pay off credit card debt. But what is a consolidation program, right? It kind of sounds like a consolidation loan, right? But don't worry, I'll explain all that very, very, very soon. In more recent years, both Robert Herjavec and Daymond John have actually partnered with companies such as Debt Clear USA, which is owned by AmeriCorps, and National Debt Relief, where they're promoting debt negotiation and/or debt relief programs. And if you've seen these ads, they're usually sounding something like, hey, you can cut your debt in half, or hey, finally get out of debt without bankruptcy. And it sounds amazing, right? But what are these debt relief, debt negotiation, and/or debt consolidation programs that they're endorsing? Are they different? Are they the same thing? Do they actually work? Well, in fact, let's do something fun. Let's play a game. I'm going to ask a question, and then you pick the answer. So, what do debt relief, debt negotiation, and debt consolidation programs have in common? A, they're loans to help consolidate your debt. B, they're scams. C, they're less risky than bankruptcy. Or D, they're other names for debt settlement programs. Now, if you picked D, you would be correct. Debt relief, debt negotiation, and debt consolidation programs are actually just other names for debt settlement. It's all the same stuff. Debt settlement, debt negotiation, debt relief, debt hardship program, you name it, it's all the same stuff. Now, that kind of prompts the question of what is debt settlement then, right? What does that actually do for you? What does it mean? How does it work? Well, I'm glad you asked. So how it works is instead of you paying your creditors directly, you're actually going to stop making payments on your debts. And instead, you're going to be putting money into a special purpose bank account, which is managed by the debt settlement company and the escrow account provider. Now, once you've saved enough money, the company will typically then negotiate with your creditors to help try to get debts settled for less than what you owe, also known as settling your debt, right? So hence the name debt settlement. Now, if it all works according to plan, you could actually pay significantly less than what you owe, which can be fantastic. But the catch, and what most debt settlement companies sometimes will skim over, is while you're not paying your creditors, obviously your credit score may fall and take a huge hit, right? Also, there's going to be interest and late fees that accrue. And at the end of the day, there's by no means a guarantee that every single creditor will settle, right? Plus, debt settlement companies often charge money based on the original debt amount. The company that's settling for you isn't free, so they're making money from it. And so it's important to understand how that works. Now, does that mean that debt settlement is bad? No, not at all. For some people, especially if bankruptcy doesn't really make sense for their situation, it could end up being a very fruitful option for them and could save them thousands of dollars compared to them paying minimums. But it's not a magic wand or a one-size-fits-all solution like it's sometimes painted to be. And that's where I think the Shark Tank connection comes in. These celebrities lend credibility, in a way, to the ads and have some kind of public figures that people trust. But at the end of the day, it's still a business model, and really endorsements from any celebrity should be taken with some sort of grain of salt, or maybe something even smaller than salt, a speck of microscopic dust, perhaps. So before you jump into a debt settlement program, you may want to compare it to just a few other options. For instance, there are debt management programs, which are offered typically through nonprofit credit counseling agencies. This can sometimes lower your interest rates and roll your payments into one monthly amount, all without stopping payments or tanking your credit like a debt settlement program can. Then there's Chapter 7 or Chapter 13 bankruptcy. These can legally wipe out or restructure your debt. They also offer legal protection through what's called automatic stay, and most of the time your retirement accounts are federally protected. Chapter 7 is also typically the fastest and cheapest way to relieve debt, but not everyone qualifies, so it's something to keep in mind and make sure you actually do indeed qualify for that. Or if your situation isn't necessarily too severe, sometimes just organizing your debt payoff strategy can save you a lot of money and interest over time. Using something like the avalanche method or snowball, or even perhaps the savvy method, which kind of takes the avalanche and snowball method, kind of combines them into one. So you kind of save money from the interest side of things, but also get the motivational side of things from paying off smaller balances. Now, if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're not really sure what option makes sense for you, we did build a free calculator that I mentioned earlier. It helps show how each option would cost side by side. So debt settlement, debt management, bankruptcy, debt payoff planning, you name it. You can see the costs, the pros and cons, the estimated duration, all the above. We don't even ask you for your email or phone unless you want to talk to us. So if you just want to get to the results page without even speaking with anybody, which is perfectly fine, we will not even ask for your email address. Now, if you want to speak with someone, then we'll need your number so we can call you. But at the end of the day, you can go through the whole thing for free. It's private, unbiased, and you can get some clarity on what options make sense for you. But what's the big takeaway in all this, right? The thing is, debt settlement can help in certain cases, but it really is not the only path forward. And just because a Shark Tank investor promotes it, it doesn't mean it's automatically the best choice for you. It can be helpful, but it's not always helpful. So the next time you see Robert, Daymond, or even other sharks promoting debt relief programs, just remember this. It's just marketing. These options can be legitimate, but please make sure you do your research before signing up. Take a little time to compare your choices, because at the end of the day, the fastest way out of debt might look completely different for you than it does for someone else. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to check out the free calculator in the description to compare your options. And I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Thanks.